Hello, I'm Dr. Jim Wasson, President of Growth Strategies International. For the last 40 years, I have been developing new products and taking them to market and have made phenomenal success. I'm here to show you the keys to how to develop a new product and take it to market. Are you an entrepreneur who has an innovative idea or concept for a new product and you want to know how to take it to market and how to make a profit? Well, you're going to learn the three keys of doing this. First off, you have to have technical success. The product has to work. Second off, it has to have marketability. Someone wants to buy your product and it's got to be a better solution than anything else that's out there. And the third thing, it has to be financially feasible. You've got to make a profit on it. So through these 9 different lectures, I'm going to take you through the process where you're going to be able to take your product, test it in the marketplace, develop a marketing plan, get financing, start your business, be a success, make some money. Please join me for this exciting journey. Thank you. Hello, my name is Dr. Jim Wasson, President of Growth Strategies International. Welcome to How to Develop a New Product and Take It to Market. This is an exciting new course, different from anything else you have seen. This course was designed for an entrepreneur who has an innovative idea or concept for a new product and wants to know how to develop the product and take it to market and make a profit. I've done it many times. I'm going to share my secrets with you. At the completion of this course, you will have a thorough understanding of the technical, the marketing, and the financial challenges that await you and be comfortable to confront those challenges head on with a new set of tools to start a business and make it profitable. I am the founder of Growth Strategies International. I've founded 2 other companies before, ProLink, which was the first GPS golf course management system, and Avionics Engineering Services. I'm a retired Chief Technology Officer from BAE Systems, where I was responsible for product development for 16 product lines, and I have 20 years of experience at Boeing and GE Aviation as Director or Manager of Engineering, Program Management, and Business Development. In addition, I'm an MBA professor for 15 years. So I'd like to share with you my secrets about new product development. We will start off with just an overview of the product development process. So let's say you have an innovative idea and you think there's a market for it out there and you want to develop it at the least amount of cost and time to prove the concept is viable. So you generate the idea, you screen the idea, you talk to people, you do some concept development and testing, you develop a marketing strategy of how you're going to take it to market, you do some business analysis, you do your final product development once you've validated it in the marketplace, do some market testing on the final product, then you're ready for commercialization, which is distribution and sales. And these steps I'm going to take you through, but I'm going to take you through on a streamlined effort so we get your product out there as fast as possible with the least amount of cost. And it's all has to do with increasing your probability of success. I want to see you succeed. So we will focus on the probability of technical completion, increasing that probability that the product will actually work. The probability of commercialization, increasing the probability that there's a market for it and they're going to buy it at the price that you specified to be profitable. And the economic success, knowing your startup costs and your operating expenses so that you can start a profitable business. I've done it before. I'm going to show you how to do it. Stick with me on this course. You'll learn a lot. The major components of the course is Section 2 is concept analysis, which is innovation and discovery, idea generation and discovery, and turning that concept into a minimal viable product. In Section 3, we'll talk about customer acquisition, determining the product market fit, the competition, and the value proposition the customer sees that they're going to want to buy your product because it solves a problem better than anything else that's out there. Finally, now you've validated the market, you've got a viable product, we need to scale your business. We'll talk about commercialization, about how to scale the business, get it into production, distribution, sales, and finally, protecting your intellectual property so no one else can steal your idea and copy it and take away your profits. Talking about profits, the last section is profitability analysis. We'll look at your sales projection. We'll look at your startup cost, your operating cost, and determine how you can get financing to start your business. We have several different methods, and I'll be discussing that. So, just to dive a little deeper in Section 2 concept analysis, the first lesson is on innovation and discovery, determining which features of your minimal viable product provide the highest return at the lowest risk to meet a customer need. Very important. Technical feasibility, proving operationally that these features are technically possible, that the product will actually work. The benefits upon completing Section 2, you'll be able to confirm that your product performs to your specifications and you verify there's no technical production barriers. In Section 3, we'll talk about customer acquisition. That's determining the customer market needs and whether your minimum viable product demonstrates superior ability over current competitive solutions to meet those market needs. We'll discuss the product market fit, which is identifying the target market, the size of that market, the price customers are willing to pay based on your value proposition. So we'll develop your value proposition and we'll develop a pricing model that fits. In addition, we'll determine why the customers will choose your product over the competition. The benefits upon completing Section 3 is you will have made critical decisions concerning your marketing approach, your product development approach, your sales forecast, how to introduce your product to the market, how to obtain initial customer feedback to validate the product market fit prior to committing full-scale production and distribution. Finally, we're ready to scale your product in Section 4. Section 4 will learn commercialization techniques, how to scale your business, how to complete the product development, how to begin production and distribution, all the different steps you need to go through to scale your business, and intellectual property. Learn how to protect your product from anyone taking away from you with patents, trademarks, copyrights. So at the end of this, you'll know how to take your product to market, how to generate sales revenue. Lastly, Section 5 is profitability. Here we're going to learn how to determine what it will cost to start your business, where do you get financing from bank loans, equity investments, government grants and contracts. We'll develop a break-even analysis based on your forecasted operating expenses and associated that with you taking your product to market and achieving sufficient sales in order to be profitable. So at the end of Section 5, you will have all the information you need to write a viable business plan to raise financing to start your business. You'll understand your production, your distribution, your marketing operations. You'll have a sales forecast. You'll know your startup costs and your operating expenses, and you're ready to roll. So I'm really looking forward to you joining us in Section 2 when we begin concept analysis. Thank you and have a great day. Hello, this is Dr. Jim Wasson from Growth Strategies International, here to talk to you about how to develop a new product and take it to market. This is the beginning of Section 2, Concept Analysis. We are going to take you onto the journey of innovation and discovery. So, what is an innovation? How is an innovation different than an invention? Well, an invention is the discovery of a new idea. However, unless the idea solves a problem, it's really not an innovation. And successful innovations create value. So an innovation has the potential to become a successful innovation, but an invention in and of itself is not an innovation. An innovation is a match between a need and a solution, and successful innovations create value. What's an opportunity? An opportunity is the seed that might become an innovation. And we'll talk about looking for opportunities and defining what the innovation is to solve those problems. So the development of new products and services that meet a customer's need better than the current alternatives do is what the goal of this course is. And it all starts with innovation and opportunities. So why is innovation important? Well, innovation sustains growth in a competitive environment. We want to meet or exceed our customer needs. We want to make sure our company is able to survive in an era of wrenching change. We want to differentiate ourselves from our competitors. We want to add features and services that set our offerings apart from others. We want to drive global competition, and we want to drive greater productivity and leadership in new markets. That's what innovation is all about. I'm Dr. Jim Wasson, and I started the Center for Innovation at BAE Systems. We had some great concepts and ideas starting new products in new markets, and I'm going to share my secrets with you. Well, what are some of the sources of innovation? Well, there's unexpected occurrences. Unexpected successes or failures are excellent sources because most businesses simply ignore them. You take, for example, 3M with the Post-it note. A chemist at 3M thought he had failed because the adhesive was not sticky enough until someone discovered, hey, this is perfect for putting on the back of a piece of paper and sticking it to a wall or a computer. And once they discovered there was a use for it, it became a very profitable product line for them. So those are unexpected occurrences. Peter Drucker mentions 6 sources of innovation. The second one is incongruities, disconnect between expectations and results. So is it taking too long to do this? Is it not just being performed well enough? I have a lot of people that come to me with some great inventions, and we're turning them into innovations. We're creating value for their company. Process needs, good source of innovation. Unexpected changes in the industry and market structures. Look what's going on around you. Look at the energy revolution. New sources of energy, low fuel prices, changes in the healthcare industry, new medical devices and pharmaceuticals. There's all kind of changes in the industry and market structures that are sources of innovation. Population or perception changes. There'll be social needs. The population is always looking for something different. What is the next iPad? And being aware of what those changes and perceptions are sources of innovation. Last is just gaining new knowledge. Passively reception by looking around you and passively bringing things in, new knowledge that could be sources of innovation, or actively scanning the environment for problems that need to be solved. Social networking is a great source of innovation. So let me tell you about a company I started called ProLink. ProLink developed the first GPS, global positioning system, golf course management system. So if you ever played golf where you had a screen up on the golf cart and it showed where your cart was and it showed where the flag was and the distance between you and the flag and all the bunkers in between, we invented that system. Myself and a couple of engineers co-founded a company. We received a patent on the software, the Kalman filter, that the algorithms that run the system, the GPS system, and we were the first to market with it. Okay, so we developed our prototype and we took it to the golf courses, and they said, well, that's great, but what do we need it for? So what's the point here? The point here is that we had a solution looking for a need. Okay, I see so many inventors, innovators have a solution looking for a need. So we soon discovered that the GPS system increases speed of play on the golf course, and therefore it increased revenue by 15 to 20%. So once we were able to demonstrate that at resort courses, people weren't walking around trying to determine what the distance was and the layout of the course and how far of this bunker, what club do I use. They look up on the screen, all the information's there. The speed of play is faster, they get more golfers on in the same amount of time, and they make more revenue. So now they were interested. Yes, increased revenue. How do we buy it? Well, we hadn't developed our business model. It cost much too much for a golf course to be able to afford to buy the system. But we found out if they just raise the green fees by a small percentage and give us a portion of that percentage, we can amortize our cost in a year and a half, and we can both make money, and it's no risk to the golf course. So now we had a business model. So you have to have a value proposition and a business model, but you have to start off with a minimum viable product, and that was our source of innovation. We'll be getting into that more throughout the course. Let's talk now about discovering and maturing disruptive innovations. Okay, first we have to scope what the growth gap is. So what is the big gap between what we're trying to achieve and what's currently out there? And then we have to search for opportunities. At Wharton School of Business Center for Innovation, they call this peripheral vision. Scanning for opportunities. If we find some opportunities, we have to interpret them. Is the market concept real? Is the product concept real? Can the product be made competitive? Can we be competitive in the marketplace? Will the product be profitable at an acceptable risk? And does launching the product make strategic sense? Once we answer those questions, then we have to understand and manage what the risks are, and we use metrics to measure our success along the way. There's a slide in your package that talks about innovation focal areas. It shows that innovation can occur across the spectrum from business models where, like Dell makes custom computers based on your specifications of what you want. You can mix and match different components. Walmart, their innovation focal area is networking with external partnerships to get you the best price. FedEx, their innovation focal area is how they service their customers. There's branding like Lexus and BMW, the customer experience, how you create an overall experience for your customers that you want to pay more because you've differentiated your product. There's a perception of better value. There's also a slide in your package called Scratch Your Own Itch. And in there's a link to Kauffman Foundation YouTube on how an entrepreneur goes through the process of discovering innovations and determining if the market is real. And I encourage you to watch it. It's a very interesting and entertaining YouTube. The link is on the presentation. So I'm going to summarize now by saying the key point here is that innovation is a match between a need and a solution, and successful innovations create value. The next lesson is the second part of concept analysis. We'll be talking about minimal viable product. A minimal viable product has, or MVP, has the minimal set of features necessary to demonstrate the ability of the product to satisfy a customer need. The minimal set at the least cost and the shortest amount of time. And we'll be getting into how to design a minimal viable product and what those features are. Also, we'll be learning in the next lesson about bringing a new product to market requires experimentation, how to conduct those experiments to determine that you have a viable solution that solves a real problem that customers need and they want. I look forward to seeing you in the second part of concept analysis. Thank you. Hello, this is Dr. Jim Wasson from Growth Strategies International, here to talk to you about how to develop a new product and take it to market. This is section 2, concept analysis, the second part, minimum viable product. So, what is a minimum viable product? An MVP is a product that only has the minimal set of features necessary to demonstrate the ability of the product to satisfy a customer's need. In other words, an MVP, minimum viable product, is a version of a new product that allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning data about customers with the least amount of effort. The final complete features will be designed and developed only after considering feedback from the product's initial users. So you don't want to spend a lot of time and money developing your final product only to find out, nah, that's really not what the customer wanted. Get something out there in their hands that they can take a look at, give you some feedback, make changes along the way. A minimum viable product has enough value that people are willing to use it or buy it initially to try it out. You may do some crowdsourcing to find out how well your product is received before you actually launch it. A minimal viable product, it demonstrates enough future benefit to retain those early adopters. Early adopters are the ones that want to be out there first with the latest product. It also provides a feedback loop to guide future development. So from the feedback you'll get from your customers, you'll know how to evolve your product with new features and capabilities as you grow the product line. One key characteristic of an MVP, it assumes that these early adopters can see the vision of the final product and provide valuable feedback to guide the product developers forward. One of the techniques used for minimum viable product is called rapid prototyping. Rapid prototyping is defined by Wikipedia as a group of techniques used to quickly fabricate a scale model of a physical part or assembly using three-dimension computer-aided design. Construction of the part or assembly is usually done using a 3D printer or some type of additive layer manufacturing technology. I'll give you an example. This right here is a salt and pepper shaker. It was my mother bought this back in 1940, and it's made out of pewter. What I wanted to do was to replicate this design, so I used a program called Onshape, O-N-S-H-A-P-E. It's a free computer-aided design program, and by taking the dimensions of this little iron, it's an iron with two holes in the front for the salt to come out and a cork in the back to put the salt in. I made an almost identical design out of plastic that was 3D printed. This cost about 30 cents of materials. It took me about an hour to make the three-dimensional design. It's pretty much identical to the pewter one. It's made out of plastic. It's got the same size dimensions and holes in it. But it costs about 30 cents to make and about an hour to produce. Now, you wouldn't want to mass produce it, but if I wanted to take this and go to the marketplace and say, what do you think about this? Would you buy this? Maybe it cost me 30 cents to make it on a 3D printer. Maybe I can sell it for $5. How much would you pay for it? That information is very valuable because the customers always say, well, no, it's actually, I would like the handle to be a little bit thicker than that, or I would like the holes to be a little bit bigger, or I would like it to hold more salt or pepper. Anyway, getting customer feedback is essential. So I have a videotape in my presentation at YouTube called MVP in Action, and I encourage you to watch it. There's also a link in there for some MVP tools that you can use in developing your minimal viable product or your prototype to take to market for market testing. And there's also another video in there, a YouTube video, called What Features Are Relevant. So when you develop your minimal viable product, it's an exercise that you can go through in determining how to quickly validate your product by picking the right features in developing your prototype. Once you have your prototype developed or your MVP developed, then you're ready to start testing the hypothesis. The hypothesis is, will the market actually be interested in buying your product, and what can you sell it for? So there's a chart in the presentation on the pre-commercial arena versus the commercial arena. Now you're in the pre-commercial arena right now. If you have an idea and you're developing a prototype product to test it in the marketplace, you're doing invention, innovation, we just talked about, proof of concept, market validation. Ultimately, by generating your ideas and prototyping, presenting it to the market, collecting data, doing analysis, and learning, you're developing information you need to develop a viable business model to take your product to market. You're answering questions like, who's your target customer? What customer problems or challenges are you solving? What value do you deliver? How you reach, acquire, and keep your customers? How you define and differentiate your offering? How you generate revenue? What's your cost structure? What's your profit margin? All that goes into your business model. Once you've answered those questions, then you're ready to commercialize your product, which we'll talk about in section 4 when you develop your business plan and go to market. So that's called scaling your business. Once you've validated your business model, you've got the problem solution fit, you've got the problem market fit, you've completed your experimentation. Now you've got to focus on growth and scaling your business to optimize your product to get at the lowest cost, the best performance, and really knock the socks off the competition. So why do new products fail? Sometimes we over-champion them. We promise too much that they don't deliver. Okay, so we're not meeting customers' expectations because we're over-championing, over-promising. Sometimes we overestimate what the demand is, and that can be a very costly mistake if you're purchasing a lot of raw materials and you end up stuck with them in inventory. Sometimes the design is just poor, it doesn't hold up, it's not reliable. Sometimes it's just poor marketing execution, knowing how to get out to the customer, how to promote your product, and we'll be talking about that in section 3, customer acquisition, how to promote your product to get market traction. Sometimes the development costs are too high. The costs are so high that you can't sell it and make a profit at it. And sometimes it's just a strong competitive reaction, especially if you don't have any intellectual property protection. Everyone's going to come after you with a lower price solution. So we're going to try to get away from all those negatives about products fail and make sure your product makes it to market. So in summary here, minimal viable product, again, has a minimal set of features necessary to demonstrate the ability of the product to satisfy customer need. Bringing a new product to market requires experimentation to determine a viable solution solves a real problem that customers want. I look forward to seeing you in section 3, customer acquisition. We'll talk about the product market fit. Thank you.